Something happened at the Birmingham Open that no one saw coming. Not the rain delays. Not the comeback. Not even the championship point. Something happened between the final point and the trophy presentation that stopped an entire stadium cold. Thousands of fans froze where they stood. The cameras caught every second of it. And within hours, the footage had traveled across the internet and reached people who had never watched a single point of tennis in their lives. What was the moment that hijacked a championship final and turned it into the most talked-about scene of the entire grass season? And why are people who weren't even watching the match calling it one of the strangest and most unforgettable things they have ever seen in sport? This is what happened. June 7th, 2026. Edgbaston Priory Club, Birmingham, England. Alex Ela stood one victory away from her second WTA 125 title. Across the net was Nikola Bardunkova of the Czech Republic, her friend, her former doubles partner, and the same player alongside whom she had suffered a heartbreaking first-round doubles exit just 6 days earlier. Center court was packed to capacity. Philippine flags stretched from one end of the stands to the other. The chant of Laban echoed off the walls with a passion that felt bigger than the tournament itself. The atmosphere was electric. The tension was suffocating. And the stakes were the highest Alex had faced since her Miami Open semi-final run the year before. From the very first game, the final delivered everything. Ela and Bardunkova traded breaks in a fiercely contested opening set, neither player willing to surrender an inch in front of a crowd that felt every single point. Their brief doubles partnership earlier in the week had created a strange chemistry between them. Each player seemed to know the other's instincts before the ball had even left the racket, making clean separation nearly impossible. The opening set stayed locked until 5-5. Then Bardunkova seized her moment, earning a crucial service break to lead 6-5 before holding under pressure to claim the first set 7-5. The second set began ominously. Bardunkova broke Ela's serve in the opening game and carried that momentum into an early lead. Her coach leaned forward in his courtside seat. Around the stadium, the Philippine flags that had been waving so defiantly seemed to pause. But Alex Ela had been here before. Down 2-5 against Alina Kovichka in the second round, she had refused to fold. She showed that same refusal now. Trailing 0-2 in the second set, she broke straight back to level at 1-1. From 2-2, she elevated her game entirely, winning 4 of the next 5 games with aggressive shot-making and something that looked, from the stands, less like strategy and more like controlled fury. 38 minutes later, she sealed the second set 6-3. The match was going to a decider. The third set was a war. Ela's serve, so often cited as a vulnerability, transformed into a weapon when the championship depended on it. She fought off double break points at 1-2. She recovered from 0-30 to break Bardunkova's serve and move ahead 4-2. The crowd sensed the finish line. The flags came alive again. But Bardunkova would not go quietly. She had battled through 4 brutal matches to reach this final, and she was not about to hand it over now. From 3-5 down, she fought back game by game until the set stood level at 5-5. The momentum had shifted completely. The flags fell still. The chanting faded into silence, and the entire stadium seemed to hold a single, collective breath. That was the moment everything changed. 6:15 p.m. June 7th, 2026. Edgbaston Priory Club, Birmingham. The deciding set tied at 5-5. The championship hanging on a single service game. Alex walked to the baseline. Philippine flags fluttered nervously in the evening air. The Laban chants had faded into anxious whispers. Thousands of spectators sat motionless, knowing that one point, just one, could alter the course of everything. Her first serve landed cleanly. Bardunkova answered with a deep return. What followed was a 12-shot rally played in near total silence, every strike carrying the full weight of a championship. Ela moved forward, a bold, decisive step toward the net, at one of the highest pressure moments of her career. Bardunkova, under enormous strain, attempted a desperate lob. The ball sailed just beyond the baseline. Advantage Ela. And then, in an instant, something happened that nobody in that stadium will ever forget. A figure burst from the stands. Not a ball kid. Not a tournament official. Not a member of the press. A young man in a bright orange shirt vaulted over the barrier and sprinted onto center court. Security personnel gave immediate chase, but the intruder moved fast, weaving between the players and the umpire's chair as thousands of stunned spectators watched in complete disbelief. The cameras tracked every second. He reached the net. He turned toward the crowd. And he tore off his shirt. Painted across his chest in large, bold letters were 4 words. Alex, marry me. For one brief, surreal moment, center court went completely silent. Players, officials, spectators, everyone seemed frozen. Time itself appeared to stop as the entire stadium tried to process what it was looking at. Then the security guards caught him. They tackled him onto the grass, and the silence shattered instantly into an explosion of laughter, cheers, and total disbelief. What had been one of the most tense championship battles of the grass season had suddenly, without warning, turned into the strangest scene anyone in that stadium had ever witnessed. Something so absurd, so perfectly bizarre, that it felt less like a real sporting event and more like a scene someone had scripted specifically to be replayed on the internet forever. Alex Ela stood at the baseline with her racket still raised. Her face said everything: shock, confusion, and somewhere beneath both of those, the unmistakable effort of a person trying very hard not to laugh. Across the net, Bardunkova had stopped trying. She was bent forward, laughing openly, unable to contain it. Even the chair umpire, a veteran official known for maintaining an iron composure across decades of professional tennis, allowed herself a brief, helpless smile. Order was eventually restored. The intruder was escorted through the players' tunnel by security, continuing to shout, "I love you, Alex," until the doors closed behind him. The court was cleared. The match was ready to resume. But the atmosphere inside that stadium had changed completely. The suffocating tension that had gripped center court for nearly 3 hours was gone. Broken not by a double fault or a crucial error, but by a man in an orange shirt with a forward message and absolutely no self-preservation instinct. In the stands, conversations rippled through the crowd as spectators replayed what they had just seen. Did that actually happen? One fan whispered to her friend, still covering her mouth. "I think so," he replied, shaking his head slowly. "I think a man just proposed to Alex Ela in the middle of a championship final." She let out a disbelieving laugh. "Only in Birmingham," she said. Even the broadcast team had been stripped of their composure. "Ladies and gentlemen," one commentator said, his voice catching somewhere between professionalism and laughter, "I have been covering tennis for 30 years. I have seen rain delays, player meltdowns, racket smashing, and fan disruptions. But I have never, not once, seen a marriage proposal on a championship point." His co-commentator paused before adding, "And judging by the look on Alex Ela's face, she hasn't either." The cameras returned to Alex at the baseline, bouncing the ball, trying to find her focus. Her expression carried the full complexity of the moment: amusement, disbelief, and beneath it all, the quiet, unshakable concentration of someone who had not come this far to lose a tennis match because of a man in an orange shirt. Across the net, Bardunkova caught her eye and offered a small, helpless shrug, the universal language for "only in tennis." Alex responded with a smile, the first visible crack in the championship armor she had worn all afternoon. The chair umpire leaned into the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, please. Play will resume. Miss Ela to serve. 15:30. The crowd erupted. Not for a winner. Not for a break point. Just for the pure, ridiculous, wonderful reality of what they had all just lived through together. Philippine flags came back to life. The Laban chant returned, louder, looser, freed.